Joined now by Nikki Salaika. Nikki is a child psychologist with Henry Ford Health Systems. Nikki, thank you so much for joining us. Hate to have you in under these circumstances when we hear about these stories, but as a parent, you hear this, it is just heartbreaking and scary at the same time because you think, could that ever happen to my child?
Right.
What are the warning signs that all of us, parents and teachers alike, need to look out for to know that a child may be in trouble?
Really look for kids who, number one, if there's any history of depression, anxiety, any kind of mood, mental health issue, be really aware. Notice changes in mood and behavior in kids just in general. So if you've got a kid who for at least maybe 2 weeks has really been, number one, really feeling down, sad, hopeless, more irritable, angry, really anxious, these are the warning signs. If it's going on for 2 weeks, that's really the time to get help, to seek out either professional help, talk with the school counselor, find out what's going on, because that's an indicator right there.
And I think some parents could just think, well, this is a tough time, and as I heard a student say earlier in our newscast, there's just a lot of pressure put on kids these days, but you hear that in your practice. You hear kids say those exact words to you, don't you?
Absolutely, and I really honor that and say things to them like, my goodness, that's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
And kids will say, and a lot of times when they've developed a relationship with a therapist, they'll say, I've been thinking about suicide. I've been thinking about, this being my only way. And one thing I'll say during my conversations with kids to motivate them is say, wow, for that much pressure, it's so sad that a lot of kids will think about suicide, a permanent problem or a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
And as parents, we need to instill upon them, I assume, that there is help, that maybe the parents can't take care of it on their own. You mentioned professional help.
That's right.
If you're concerned, call a psychologist or psychiatrist, correct?
Absolutely. Seek out school counselors, get resources, empower kids, let them know there's a team of people, and we can tackle this together. There is hope, and kids need to hear that there's a way out, and that suicide is not the way out.
We've got a phone number we want to put on the screen too, because this is one resource that's out there to help people, and it's the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Is that right? We've got some numbers on the screen there that people can call if they're concerned. And I just want to ask you too, teenagers often know other teenagers almost better than their parents, right? So if you have a friend who you're concerned about, Nikki, quickly, what can you do?
Absolutely. The kids that I'm talking to a lot of times will say, my friend's really depressed, I'm seeing a therapist, how can I help get them help? And sometimes I say to them, because they're afraid, they don't want to rat out their friend, I don't want them to hate me, and it's really a matter of, you might have to be that friend that gets them to help.
Make the difference.
That's right.
Nikki Salaika, thanks so much for being with us.
Stephen.